Ladies and gentlemen, I'm yours truly, the legend himself, Labzy, aka the best motherfucker you ever met in the history of your life, and I can prove it to you even though I shouldn't. The most loyal, the most honest, and the most respected. And the first guest for February is I'm gonna be honest here. She's Wonder Woman. She's Wonder Woman. The amount of the entrepreneurship mindset on this woman is absolutely insane, right? I met this woman at an event. Shout out to Jess McAvelli, who introduced me to my next guest. And I had a little mini interview with her. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. If you need the link to that, I will give you that. And they are part of the Latino community. And this woman's mission is basically to bring a lot of other Latina artists together and really form a community for the arts, whether it's business or whatever, right? So I'll bring her in at the moment. And she's just such an amazing woman, such a kind woman, and really does her best. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Meybell, Christina. How are you?
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Man, it is an honor. It is an honor to have you on my show. Thank you for taking the time. And I know that we are on a bit of a tight schedule, so I'll try to get all the main points out of the way. First of all, Meybell, how are you? How is your mental health?
Oh my God. That's a great question, actually. I just took 3 months off and a little bit more because I actually didn't have a break for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you want to be really busy and you're looking for a career where you are going to be overflooded with work, join the mental health industry. Since 2020, it has skyrocketed, and everything from wellness in mental health to nutrition in mental health and how it impacts the overall human, go for it because the work is there, and yes, there's a lot of work to be done. So yes, so I finally took 3 months off, and it feels much better, but I'm still
Yeah.
not ready. I think I'll take a little bit longer. I'm thinking my year might start in March instead of January or February this year. So I'm taking my time. Thank you for asking.
No, that's all right because obviously mental health is such a big thing and such an important thing as well because as I was saying before, like you are basically the Latina Wonder Woman, basically the amount of stuff that you do and what your drive and your passion is what you do is incredible, but it does the other side of the coin of it, it can drain you mentally, especially with the busyness and people when it comes to demands and stuff like that. And it's, oh man, I can imagine how a lot that is. So, but
Yes.
yeah, so now, Maybell, you have to take this back for me. You have to let me know how did this come about? How did this idea come to you? Because obviously you've got multiple accounts. You've obviously got the Stars Are Born. You also have the Golden Voice as well. And tell me about what inspired the journey for you to become an entrepreneur.
Oh my gosh, we're going way back.
Way back.
So 2019, I would say, was probably the year that I really had to reassess everything in my life. And what was I? Getting into my, yep, so early 30s, which is the stage where you're starting to hit those middle years. So, you've probably worked for many employees till then. So I worked in hospitality, I worked in early learning, I worked with families and communities. I had done a lot of work and I had tried a lot of things, but I think for me it was more that I was a mom and I wanted something that kind of worked on my schedule and also something that I could grow on my own as well, something that would challenge me. And also, I also learned what makes a mentally healthy workplace and what doesn't as well. So I had been under a lot of different leaderships. Some were amazing, Some others were like, oh my goodness, okay, that's a lesson to learn when you are one day in a leadership position. So I saw a lot. I saw what needed to change as well. I also saw things that other people didn't see. So I'm always about, this is something that I preach. If you've come to my speaking events, you will know this. I always preach this. Don't ever be afraid to go first. If you have an idea, if you have a passion for something, if it's something that hasn't been done before, do it. Don't ask for validation. Don't look for the proof. Stop seeking the signs and, and messages. Just do it, because most likely the reason why you have these ideas and why you have this creative spark is because you're meant to be using it. You're meant to be building it. So for me, it was around mental health. It was more around holistic health. It was more about getting down to the basics, because at the end of the day, I mean, we can get all the therapy and all the counseling we want, but if your nutrition is not on point, if your lifestyle doesn't match what's good for you mentally, like let's say that you've already come from a background where there's been a lot of trauma, and then the lifestyle that you lead now is quite stressful and quite full on, that might not be the best thing for you. So just really knowing yourself first, Martin, I think really led to everything else that I'd kind of done after that. And then once I went into the mental health industry, naturally, I think people that teach go into mentoring, and you go on to creating workshops and facilitating and programs and speaking. That's kind of how it unfolds. But I would say the very first thing would be that idea that, while everyone else, for me, mental health was just focusing on the diagnosing and mental health first aid, I wanted to do something more, and something that brought people together, something that was a safe environment as well, and also understanding the different traumas, different minority groups as well, because our studies usually involves only a certain amount of people, and it only includes some people, some other people it doesn't. So that's what a lot of people don't know. We have these incredible stats, but doesn't mean that your group or your lifestyle was included in that overall survey, you see. And mind you, like, I'm not putting down surveys or statistics out there when it comes to mental health, because it is a big job and it's a big task and it's a big ask. And also money, funding, sponsorships needed as well. These things don't happen overnight. So yeah, so there's that credibility still. Of course, we listen to stats, we listen to say, but also, what can I do? How can I help myself? What other groups are out there in my community that I can put together? It can be any idea. It can be the arts. It can be, it's endless. It can be a knitting group. It can be anything you think that might help bring people together and getting people connected on a human level. Go for it. It can be anything.
Okay. Yeah, and I love that. And this is something that you and I have something in common as well, because I'm a very big believer in, you have a gift. Everyone has a gift. You have a gift, I have a gift. Everyone has a gift, right? And it is your job, if you look at, if you take it from a spiritual perspective, if you take it from a religious perspective, right? God gave you this gift. Everyone has a gift. It is your job to seek out the gift, and once you discover it, you experiment with it and see how it works. See what it works with, works not, whatever, and then give it to the world, because the world needs it. The world needs your gift, right? And that's the whole purpose that feeds your soul. It's the thing that feeds your soul, right? And I'm very happy you mentioned, don't worry about validation, don't worry about these types of things. But the big one for me is when it comes to facing community, facing families, facing friends, that you want to pursue this gift, but then it's like, oh, okay, well, okay, why do you want to do that? That's not. It sounds, when you try to explain your gift to the world and they don't understand it, they're very quick to shut you down. Which is also another reason why people don't pursue gifts, because they're like, oh, for say family, for say parents, for example, they say, oh, why would you want to do that? That's not logical, or that's not something that's going to pay the bills, or these types of things. We've all heard the story, right? And if you take it from a community sense, it's like, well, they'll support you, but they don't support you. They support you because you're not doing a criminal activity, but they don't support you because it doesn't have any addition to community growth. That's what it is, right? So that's why, like, I really encourage people to be like, you know what? Your gift isn't about community. Your gift isn't about family or impressing people around. This is for you to be happy. That's what it is. It's the
Yeah,
happiness. Go on.
I love that
What
you
were you gonna
brought
say?
in faith. Yeah, faith into this because having faith, oh my God, yes, you're going to need it in this world, in this life, whether you choose to be an entrepreneur or not, you're going to need it, whatever that faith means to you. That's your own journey personal. Now going back, I guess, to at the very beginning, that yes, it's tough because when something's new or when something hasn't been done in your bloodline or in your culture, it's taboo or it's not really accepted or looked down upon. Yes, it is. It is challenging. It is, and all I can say is, this is where faith comes into it. That you know what, at times you have to be. That's for being. And this is the thing: being a leader, it is one of the most spiritual transformations you will go through. Because I'm telling you now, I, I know you're a leader when most likely you probably sit by yourself. You probably spend a lot of time by yourself, and you probably like, yes, and you probably have been attacked, what feels like attack. But to be honest, I just know two things, and it's that we are mirrors to each other. So sometimes I might be triggered by maybe an opinion you might have, Martin, because maybe it's not what I'm used to. Maybe it's not something that I've heard of before. So it's nothing personal. It's just that your reality and what you're trying to create, I can't envision that in my mind.
Mm.
And that's why now when I want to go ahead with projects or anything really, I just do it. Like I don't even talk about it. Like my family doesn't even know about half of what I do because they don't need to, because unless they're going to be my client, unless they're going to be my audience, unless they're going to be the consumer, then, but saying that, my children are involved actually now in a lot of what I do as well. They help out a lot behind the scenes and when the events happen. But let's say from my parents' generation, or even my parents, I had to explain to them what mental health was,
Mm.
because in their minds they didn't understand why Australians have such a high rate of depression and anxiety when they have electricity, they have food, they have their nice and cushiony life. Because to my parents, they work because they're not anymore. They were stuck in that survival mode,
Yeah.
coming from war times and all that kind of poverty mindset. So to them, being here, you should just be grateful. Like, why are you sad? Why do
Yeah.
you get sad? So I had to explain all that to them. And you know what, for a while as well, even with friends who couldn't understand how I was doing all this, and kind of what seemed like, who was I to go ahead and do this and think I'm a leader.
Mm.
Um, I had to kind of move away for a little while, but then guess what? Once they understood it and they saw it come to light, guess what? They came back and they were like, "Oh my God, good on you! Like I remember when you were talking about that, and look at you now, like you believed in yourself." So sometimes we don't. You know what it is? We over-explain ourselves to people when we don't need to, and it comes down to us because it's our ego that wants to see that. They want to see someone tell you, "Yeah, yeah, that's like a good idea. You're gonna do it. Yeah, just do it." Like we need that
Yeah.
extra, support. All I can say is that's where faith comes into play. You have
Mm.
faith in something other than you. You have faith in yourself, right? That
Yeah.
it's in you. Then the followers will just come. They'll
Right.
flock. They'll just come. The contacts will come. The people you're meant to meet, you will meet. It's just about being patient and watching it unfold without forcing it.
And it's
Yeah.
fantastic. It's like, and I'm everything you just said just now is what I also preach to everyone else as well, because obviously take my show for example. I've been doing my show going on 7 years now, and it's only like probably what, maybe a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, when things started to change, things started to shift into where it's supposed to be, right? And there were situations where it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, or should I be keep doing this, am I doing something wrong, da 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 da, am I not taking enough risks, or these types of things. But then, just as you said, like I was patient, I was really faithful, I had God by my side, and then now, like I've had blessed of opportunities to have my very first Hollywood celebrity on my show as well, which I will always thank God
Oh,
for, you know. And now, and again, like, and I don't use that. I don't add that to my ego. I'm just like, okay, cool. Now that we have this, now we've reached a new level. How do we go higher? How do we? What's the next thing, right? And and this is why a lot of people need to be patient and need to be just keep have the consistency. Is what it is. The biggest one is patience and consistency, and those two
yeah.
together can form into the greatest, biggest things, right? So now going back to you now, when it comes to now, as you've started. So, which one did you start first? Did you do Stars Are Born first, or did you do Golden Voice first?
So I know where you got Golden Voice from, but that one's like my just hobby one. It's just one that I've got.
Right.
You're talking about Golden Mindset Mission. It's the one that I'm
Yeah,
on,
that's
the
the
one
one.
that
Yeah,
we're
that's the
on.
one. Sorry, excuse
Yeah,
me. That's my bad on that one. Yeah,
that's all
sorry.
right. So Golden Mindset Mission was first.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Tell me
was
about that.
first.
What was the inspiration behind that?
So that was when I started speaking and coaching women and mentoring. So
Right.
if you go, like, I'm not sure if it's up at the moment in my bio, you can go to my website and basically the programs, journals, even just a little, very short digital book that I've also created with my team for holistic mental health as well, and just your whole journey overall. So yes, that's when I created that. That was back in 2021.
Mm.
2021 that was launched, yeah, and then it's just grown, and I've just met so many women, and then because the whole branding came into play and content creating, we then created Shiny Success Network, which is where basically just like little blogs, little snippets of events we go to. When people ask me, come have a buy, and can you please record us? So Shiny Success Network, yeah, and I work with Melanie from 33 Degrees with that one. She does the whole flyers. She does all of that. I don't do. I just go to film, do the snippets. She does the rest pretty much. So we're doing, yeah, we've done workshops in the past as well. So Shiny Success Network and Golden Mindset Mission kind of go together. But this year, I will say Golden Mindset Mission is going to pop off this year. So I'm really excited about that because it all goes, like I was saying to you, like for some people, it might look like there's so many things going on at once, but they are interlinked. And I'll give you an example. Someone that wants to have a mental health workshop, and they're like, and we want to have like a creative committee, and we want to have, a branding session as well, as our business is launching mental health services. So who am I to tell them no? Like, who am I? No, that's their creative way of doing things because they value that artist, that music is healing. So
Mm.
it's funny. It's different, but it's intertwined. And a lot of them do that. A lot of events will have artists perform. A lot of events, do intertwine a lot. So that's what I will say about that. So it's about following what you're meant to be doing, but also in your mind, trying to get out of that mindset where things got to look the way that you want them to look. Like I want them to be in this order, which is kind of what we're taught. And businesses are a lot like that. The business world is very structured. It's very KPI driven, it's very goals, very numbers. But the only thing that I'll say is about people that come from that left-hand side of the brain, basically, that things got to look very structured in a certain way. At times they lack the creativity because they want to kind of play in that old way of business. And then with this kind of the other side of the coin also is that very creative people don't have the business side of things. So they don't know how to kick things off and get paid for what they do.
Right.
So that's where I kind of come, and I feel that I'm merging that slowly but surely.
Okay.
So
Okay. No, I love that. I love that. And I love how, and again, like I love how mental health is such a massive thing for you. And now my biggest question is, why is mental health important to you, in your opinion?
oh my God, it's everything. If you're not okay, then the buck begins with you and the buck stops with you,
Yeah.
really. And that's the reason why it's so important. And also because mental health affects every area of your life. Your brain goes where you go. So it impacts your relationships, your career, your self-esteem, everything you name it. And I think especially, and I would say for minority groups, something that I see a lot that people don't even think of it, they don't even realize this part of a mental health strategy and a tool is setting boundaries with people.
Yeah.
Setting boundaries is a very, very big one.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
no, I understand that we're family, but no, I don't need your opinion on everything. No, I don't need you to use that tone with me. Like any little thing like that can really impact you. Anything like that, boundaries with your time, with your energy, the environments you're in, what you're consuming. If you're always watching the news and watching all the extreme things happening around the world and fear mongering, it's like, no, what other generations have gone through horrible things as well.
Yeah.
And we are resilient enough and we are going to get through our rough times too. But rough
Yeah.
times are not going to stop coming. Like life is not going to stop.
Well,
It
yeah, that's
happens.
right. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
And even for me, like mental health is such a big thing for me because there's a lot of look, there are battles that are people that are going through that you will never understand, right? And I that's why I always try to encourage that's why I always try to encourage just being kind, being respectful because you don't know what that person is going through, what that person is dealing with. And like anything that you do, you don't know if you're going to add fuel to that trauma fire, and then it's going
Yeah.
to escalate even further. So that's why like there's no point of trying to be angry or trying to be jealous or anything this type of thing because especially jealousy is a big one because you don't know what that person had to do. You don't know what these like
Yeah.
if you take it from a business perspective, right? You don't know how many sleepless nights, the overtime, the all of that. You don't know what even in your case, Maybell, like the amount I reckon you don't even sleep that long because the amount of stuff you got to do because trying to get the business under control and all the demands and everything like that. Also, social media, like it's a lot, right? And people don't see the behind the scenes. They don't see that. And then so now going back to mental health, it's like, well, how about we just be kind? How about we just be respectful? How about we just shut up, basically? You know what I
That's
mean?
right. Yeah, that's completely right what you're saying right there.
Hmm.
Yeah, people never be jealous of someone else's life because you don't know what they've had to go through to get there. You just don't know. That's exactly right. So I guess going back to, things that your grandma and stuff probably used to tell you, auntie, like if you've got nothing nice to say, then they just don't say it at all. Just keep it to
Yeah,
yourself. Go off and go and think whatever you like of people, but do it in your own mind, in your own time, and that's really your issue, not really theirs. Yeah. So if you're not bringing, I think, really something that's positive, then
mhm,
it's best just it's okay. Like not everyone's your cup of tea, and that's okay. That's okay. It's okay to have be by yourself a little bit. It's okay to just have one or two friends. That's it. That's fine. There's
yeah,
nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it's been an incredible journey. So I'll ask you this:
yes.
when you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed and fearful? What's your mental health strategy? What do you do, Martin?
I have three options. I have gym.
Yeah.
Also, I what I do every Friday night, or mostly most Friday nights, I go for a drive, and then I really just what I like to call self therapy, where I really reflect on the week, where I'm like, okay, how did I do this week? Did I do very well? Did I screw up somewhere, whether it be at work or talking to people or having this thought of something, and then I kind of really travel to my subconscious and really just be like, okay, what did I do wrong here? And how I'm like, okay, I just now got to be mindful not to do that ever again and really just be better because the most important thing about that is that okay, I do want to be better as a person. I do want to be I want to be I just want to be the best version of myself. And those three and also music was playing a role in that as well. So I have those three things, right? And these things are the greatest elements of mental health stability for me. And I've practiced that. I've came out of the bubble or came out of the box to be like, okay, I have to figure out what's wrong with me. I have to figure out how do I be a better person? Like if I'm angry, why am I angry? If I'm upset, why am I upset? I have to basically be my own therapist, be my own voice, talk to myself and really be like, okay, why, what's happening, what's going on, and then that becomes, and that also that eventually become like, okay, this is why this happened, this is where this come from, this is where A B C D, and as I start to exercise that, that's when it made me realize, okay, these people are going through the exact same thing, and depending on how they deal with it, that's up to them. That's their business. That's their journey. That's that, right? But for me, to answer your question, I've got gym, I have going for drives, and I've got music as well. So these are my three.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So I like, especially the one. So that's what we call, so for drive music and the gym. They're very masculine ways that
Mhm.
men deal with mental health, and that's fantastic. So, but the one that you are doing that you might not even know that you're doing is the one where you're actually critical thinking.
Mm,
So you are basically doing like what a therapist or what a psychologist might do with you. So cognitive or behavioral therapy, where you're monitoring your behavior and your triggers. You're saying, this is what the trigger was, this is what went on with me, and this is why I behave this way and I react. And it's awesome that you're doing it week in and week out, because doing what you're doing at the moment is
mm,
demanding a lot from your brain.
mm,
Your brain is actually always sparked up and you're using a lot of energy. So for you, looking after your body, your brain, drinking enough water, all that stuff, it's really, really important. And having time to yourself. But everything you're doing sounds fantastic, but that's basically what you do in behavioral therapy and cognitive therapy. And there is also something called the continuum of mental health. So pretty much during our lifetime, we've got this arrow like this, right? And we'll always have a trigger here. So it can be a new role, studying a new school, you quit, you're starting your journey, let's say. So you start here and you're always going red flag, the happiness, the happy times, and then here is the red flags. So
mm.
when you start to kind of deteriorate a little bit, it's getting too stressful, I'm not happy, but you always want to come back to that kind of middle point when you're kind of not, not always on the green, but not on the red either. So you're always coming to the center, to the balance, basically, to the middle,
Yeah.
which is something we already know through holistic health. But
Mm.
what you're doing is amazing. And I think having the right people as well to go to, if you are going to disclose, please do make sure that that person has some kind of background or at least has experience in maybe going through what you've gone through as
Mhm.
well, because sometimes we can deter from sharing our story when we feel misunderstood.
Mhm.
So going to the right people and sharing, that's really important as well. And like you said, and you'll probably find out they've been through the same thing, similar thing, and they might, give you a few hints as well as to what worked for them. But
Of
everyone's
course.
different.
Yeah, of course. Now, I know we haven't got much time, so I do want to talk about Stars Are Born, right? This is actually
Yes.
where I met you, actually. As again, shout out to Jess Machiavelli. She introduced me to you, and yeah, obviously we bonded very well, of course. And yeah, so tell me about what is the mission with Stars Are Born?
Yeah. So again, stars are born. Even though I had that name, that creativity for it, and it's funny, I actually was saving that idea and the name for maybe when I was retired. Like I actually thought to myself, maybe I'll just have a little coffee shop and I'll just, have live music playing and I'll just hire an artist and that'll be nice.
Mm.
But then I met Jess and we know Jess is a gun. Like I
Yeah.
love Jess my Cavalli, shout out to you. She was like, I shared the idea. She's like, what are you waiting for? She's like, come on. She goes, oh, I know as many artists. And Anna as well, Anna's fine, a big shout out as well to her. She was like, Anna knows, like, we all know through communities and blah, blah. So I'm like, okay. I just, and that kind of went from there. Now, at first, again, it went from the coffee shop and one day when I'm retired, 11, a band playing, to
Yeah.
now, okay, we're going to do an open mic night and we're just going to put the word out there. Now, I honestly thought it was going to be Jess's partner, Jess's children, maybe my children, maybe Anna and Anna's partner. That's what we thought. It's going to be just maybe 10 people, just our family, friends coming. But that's not what happened.
Yeah.
So I still can't believe that happened. because that's been alive for now coming to a year. And yes, so we thought, okay, we'll just do open mic. And then as I got to know more artists, I would just basically, this is what all new businesses and new ventures do basically. So when you are starting a project, you need to collect as much data as you can. So have a chat to people. What's lacking in the industry? What has been the experience so far? What do they need from you? What would you like to see happen in this space? So these 3 months I've had away, even though I said I was on holiday, right? You know, that's been all over my mind. As you know, we can't stop. Like, come on. I don't stop.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've just been going over everything, taking all the feedback back, what worked, what doesn't. But basically, what I really want is to just really support local artists because we have so much talent here. But what I can say so far about the industry is this: we don't value artists here enough. It is so hard for them to kind of get to the point where there are people actually want to buy tickets to go watch them. And then the second one is also the way that in a way they are used as well. Not going to the right people and associating with people that have really no credibility, or they're just making things up, or basically they're out to steal make money off them. So, and I was really impacted by that. Like, that really made me sad because I feel that we keep, let's say in the Latino community, you know, we keep preaching, oh, you know, like racism, or we're not included, we're not inclusive. But then I also think to myself, well, if you want to be respected and taken seriously as a Latino artist, then if you are booking an artist, if you're an event, you know, manager, then pay that Latino artist the good money locally because you want that recognition from others.
That's
Do
right.
you see? So it's kind of like we kind of, you know, we wish that things are not a certain way, but then when it comes to a chance to actually support and do the right thing, we don't do it. So it's that those things kind of happening as well. So, and then I think third would be that the truth is the event and that kind of sector, that whole industry, including hospitality, did take a hit after COVID. It did take a hit. Like it was one of those things where people thought, okay, well, food and, you know, water and paying the bills is kind of more important than, you know, going out or, you know, entertainment. So that was the first thing that kind of went, those two things, eating out and, you know, entertainment. So that's the truth of it. Now, so basically, again, coming from a business mind, where is the actual gap? So the gap is not that we don't have enough artists and we don't have enough creativity. That's wrong. That is wrong. Like you know, the amount of gigs I've been to, and even just normal coffee shops and bars, there's so much talent there. So I know that that's a myth. Like that, there's no way. I believe that someone's saying, oh, there's no like, you know, creative people in Australia. There's no good artists coming up from Australia. No, that's not true. And then B, I think right now for me, it's like, okay, so events. So this is where my other two come into play, Chinese Success Network and this one called The Mindset that's already has a foundation. So I'm like, okay, people that are businesses, come on, like what events do you want to have? Yeah. What events do you want to have this year? Like, come to me. I can get you entertainment in there. I can get the artists in there. So it's starting to catalog and it's starting to really set a foundation for Stars Are Born. So again, setting a foundation is not easy. It takes money, it takes research. It's doing things the right way. Yeah. But for me right now is really getting to know how that industry works in Australia, the policies, the rights, even the pay rate. There are artists out there getting paid nothing on these stages, with those stages having major artists on them, and they don't get paid because they're considered local, and they should just be thankful that they're, you know, along a bigger artist than them. It's like, no, that is actually against our laws here in Australia. It really is. So yeah, it's just really educate. Again, it's like my mental health business. The foundation was educating people, seeing what the gaps are. How do I not make the mistakes that other people have made? How do I lift that industry with the networks that I have? How do I set myself up so everything that I'm doing is also the right path and it's fair? It's fair for everybody as well. So that's where I'm at the moment. In terms of me being involved in their music, like a studio, nothing like that, no, I'm nowhere near that. For me, it's more creating more platforms and creating jobs for them, and then also making sure that they're getting paid.
Yeah.
That's the main goal here. You gotta get paid because you're worth it, your energy, and your music means something to you, and it means something for other people as well.
Yeah.
And then also mentoring the artists to have the confidence, to believe in themselves, to keep writing, to not give up, and to also be realistic that this is going to take time. It doesn't happen overnight. Yeah, and with the, you know what? And to be honest, the other things are they're very easy to outline, but the real work is with the artist
Of course.
because a lot of artists are just, a lot of, it's very normal that anxiety plays into it. And I understand. And I always, try to tell them, well, you have to share yourself with your audience. If I go to your page and it's great that you got your music, but I don't know who you are. I don't know where you came from. And I don't know what made you start making music. Then I might not connect with you just alone through your music.
Yeah.
So every time like an artist gets on stage, that's your chance and that's a platform for you to share who you are. And there's always someone in the audience that's never heard of you before.
That's right.
So so it's a lot of things, but I think for now that is enough for me.
Yeah.
Trying to create events along other, not myself because I'm one person, but I know plenty of businesses that want to have certain amount of events this year and they require entertainment and artists on there who are very interested. So it's setting things up properly within the means of the legalities of Australian law. And third would be just keep mentoring the artist. And that, again, that takes time and patience. So,
yeah, of course. No, I agree with that. And well, last question before we do wrap it up, because I know you have to be somewhere. Are we going to be expecting more open mics for Stars Are Born in 2026?
yes, of course you are. I'm just a bit slow still. I've been a sloth. And yes, we are. Hopefully by March we'll have something, if not something sooner. So I had actually scheduled the first one for January, but I changed my mind. I think I need some more time off. So I did take that time off, and also because everyone's away on holidays anyway in Jan, it tends to be a bit quiet. But so I did say, no, we're just going to pull it back. So we won't have as many open mics, and the application process will be different because we do want to level it up a little bit more than what we have and really get the audience going and really get things, like I said, just doing things in a better way, in a manner as well that an artist will really be showcasing, like their talents.
Yeah.
But a lot of fun stuff. So we'll have there's people playing instruments this time. You won't necessarily be singers all the time. But yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting time. It's an exciting time. So we won't be doing them every month like we were. There's going to be gaps in between, but definitely we'll have open mics. You'll be the first one to know. You'll know.
Absolutely. And I'll be the first one there as well. Absolutely.
Good.
But I do want to thank you very much for today, Maybell. Did you have fun?
Yes, it was good. It was good. It's my first one,
Was
for
this
the
what you
year.
expected?
Yes, it was fantastic. I looked at this space and I had a thing, and you, and like the gold mic, like, come on. It was a vibe.
Well, before I let you go, Meybell, I just want to let you know that I tell every guest I have to let them know what I define a successful person. So a successful person is that you're doing what you love doing, you're working hard at it, you are getting results, whether it's minor or major. That's what a successful person is. So you are a successful woman, Meybell Christina.
Oh, thank you. I love that. And that actually just triggered a memory in my mind. So if you would have asked me what defines a successful person 5 years ago, I would have told you, someone that makes money like doing what they love, right? So you're not doing that 9 to 5. And then fast forward a few years in 2024, was, I remember I was asked at a speaker event, what do you think makes you successful? I was like, because I get to do what I want, I get to do what I want, blah, blah, blah. It was still very ego driven. But now someone asked me last week at an interview, right? This is for like an article. She said, what do you think, makes you successful? And I said, I think I said something along the lines, I said, what I think makes me successful now, I said, is that you pretty much become the person you wish you had when you were, younger, or when you were starting out. So the fact that you're leading just by example, like that's what, makes you successful. But like, you have to figure all that out first, I went through that whole journey where it was like money first, and then it was more ego, and now it's kind of like, nah, you're just that person that that I wish I had when I was younger. And that is like, you're on the right path. Or like, what more can you want?
There you go. Well, there you go. So we'll wrap it up here. Meybell, Christina, thank you so much. This will be on YouTube and Spotify as well. And when it's on YouTube, I'll be doing some shorts, and I'll be posting everywhere and stuff. And yeah, and hopefully I'll see you soon. And
Yeah,
yeah, let me know when the
cheers.
next open mic is, and then I'll be there.
All right. All right. Enjoy
Thank you.
that. Bye. Thank you, everyone,
Bye.
for watching. See ya.
Thank you, and I want to say thank you for the people that have watched. And please go follow Meybell Christina on Stars Are Born, as well as Golden Mindset Mission. And if you are a Latina artist, please contact her. She will help you as best as she can, best of her ability. And yeah, you guys will talk. So yeah. All right. Maybell, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.